What made you decide to get a right-hand drive car?
Being about 6 and wanting, it's one of those things, you want since you're a kid, you can't have it because it's, forbidden fruit, basically.
Japanese culture. It's VIP. Like, you can't feel any different. Everybody looks at you and you're unique. Something different than anything you've seen before. Not just that, but like the luxury on this thing is phenomenal. Things you'd never expect. Like, you can't get that in the United States.
I know it's crazy, right? How the detail of the Japanese versus what we have. I mean, these cars came with cloth seats, but in Japan, the humidity is so crazy. They don't like leather, so they don't put leather in anything. This car is the epitome of luxury.
Honestly, it was an impulse buy.
Yeah?
Because I was trying to find like something with like a turbo 2J, and I saw this on Marketplace, and I just picked it up that same day.
How long have you had this thing?
I've had it about 5 years now. So I was originally keeping it stock, but then I got in a wreck and
went all out.
So I was like, thrift car.
What all have you done to this thing?
As far as suspension goes, I've done everything you can do in terms of that. The engine is mostly stock with the exception of the bolt-ons. I've got some TRD 243 cams in there, the HKS cam gear. I've been kind of waiting on the engine to blow because I've got a high compression build I want to drop in after that. The thing doesn't like to die.
92 Suzuki Ultra Works RSR. So it's 660 cc's and it's got a turbo and all-wheel drive. And this one has about 120 horsepower. So it's got a bigger turbo.
So these come with like 60-some horsepower stock, right?
Yes, 65.
So you're telling me you got this little 60 horsepower motor?
Yeah.
It's 120-some horsepower?
Yeah.
And how the hell did you do that?
Bigger turbo, larger injectors. It has a ECU Masters Classic ECU, so we put a standalone ECU on it, and Suzuki Jimny intercooler.
Nice.
So it's off another K car. We got a catch can.
What's your plans with it?
Needs a catch can, needs an intake, and then after that, there's one bigger turbo we might buy. So
one bigger turbo.
Yeah, it's called an Hitachi HT074A AR12. And basically, it's the biggest one you can bolt on.
Now let me ask you this: if you're going from 60 to 120 horsepower in this, they can't be stock internals, can it?
No, it's got forged pistons, forged rods. It's a built motor, which I did. Took me about 6 months to do in my garage.
This might be the coolest Alto you've ever seen.
Right? Story: I got wrecked on the way from Japan over here, and spent a couple years in court and insurance battles, and then 3 years rebuilding.
You did like a whole frame down restoration, right? You took it down to the bare nuts.
Stripped the whole chassis down. Any rust, we got new rocker panels, new quarter panels, new OEM metal. Cut out any rust in the car, replaced it.
These fenders aren't original either, are they?
No, so these are short, and these took about 1.5 years to get. They're made to order. A lot of the cars in Tsukuba use them. So that's kind of what I was kind of going for with the cream of this car.
Nice.
Big wing.
I like that you went with all the polished. Did you polish the valve cover yourself?
So these were already polished, and it had a big HKS single on it when I bought it.
You went back to the twins.
I just went with the black and polish. It's kind of just the classic.
What made you go back from single to twins?
Inspection. I had OEM like air piping on that side too. But I have a set of bigger Apexy turbos, Tomei manifolds, full HKS down exhaust.
You've done like crazy little things that most people don't do, like source pieces and bits and trim pieces. Like, show us kind of some of the bits and pieces that you found.
Well, I believe in like the OEM plus methodology, I guess you'd say. So, I get the car. It was stock, but I'm not a stock fan. Like the suspension's too soft or it's blown out. So this is actually a full race build suspension. So I have polyurethane bushings on every control arm. I have new ball joints, full BC racing coilovers, strut bars, huge sway bars. It's a very balanced chassis that I built for like almost a track setup. I do need to finish with getting operated brake system, but then I go through the car and I like fix all the little shit, like all the little rubber seals, all the little rubber tabs, everything, like the hood. I add struts to the hood so it feels more modern. I kind of do an OEM plus modern feel to it, but without losing that authenticity of kind of the old 90s. Yeah, but I'm more of a driver. This is one of my driver cars. I take this one out and I beat the shit out of it. It's got steel skid plates underneath because it's low. It's gonna hit stuff. But I want to drive it. Unlike some of our other cars that sit in the garage for the year.
And you have a Supra, right?
I do have a Mark IV twin turbo Supra 6-speed, and it's actually in restoration now, pretty close to your shop. So we're getting the paint done on that. But that car, it's not like this. I don't go out and just beat on it and drive it. This car was built specifically for me.
Right-hand drive life.
Right-hand drive life, baby.
So this car here, you bought it like what, 1.5 years ago, 2 years?
Yeah, it was about 16 months or so.
Yeah. So then you bought it then you decided just to take it all apart, right?
It was pretty stock, and I had intended to do a lot of work on it, and then I blew a coolant line under the intake manifold. Had to take that off, and just while I was there, syndrome just kept growing.
What advice would you give people who want to buy an R32 who know nothing about the platform, who are just like, you know, I've always wanted a R32?
Spend the money to find the cleanest one you can find with the least amount of rust you can find from a reputable dealer for sure. Because if you don't, you're going to have ongoing problems, or you're going to spend way more for the cheapest car.
What's been your biggest challenge so far?
Trying to find parts that I want that are local. Everything, it seems like, has to be shipped in, but fortunately that's getting easier and easier.
What's your favorite part about the car?
That it's drivable, finally.
Right.
I finally get to enjoy it.
Honestly, getting to know the community here, man. Getting out with everybody like this is great. Get to meet a lot of people such as yourself. It's been good.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah, no, of course. I love this group, and I'm excited to see how big it's grown. I'm just excited you took what we started and then ran with it. What was that, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
We both kind of started the group about 4 years ago, and then kind of ran with it. But I'm glad to see the group keeps growing, and I hope it does. I really do hope it just gets bigger and bigger here. You know, it's all about experiencing the cars together. We all grew up with it, Gran Turismo, Speed.
Yeah, plus I think all of us grew up kind of like a rebel kind of thing. You know, kind of outcast. We weren't like so much in the football squad. We were like out doing crazy.
It's true. We were doing car stuff. We were, they were playing, homecoming games. And I'm over here putting subs in a Camry. We're underglowing on a Accord. Back when we were 16 years old.
Exactly.
Because we couldn't get these cars. We played with them in Gran Turismo, but 16 you can only afford a $1,000 Toyota Camry. You can't afford a car like this back then. And you couldn't even get them.
Right.
So now we're living our old dreams, but.
I like it, man. I think that's why we do it.
It's exactly what we do.
Thank you, man.
It's good seeing you, Josh.
Nice seeing you too.
Today, the right-hand drive crew is rolling deep. Thank you guys for coming out. As you can see, this scene is pretty vibrant. We love supporting it. If there's any of these type of cars that you like or have interest in, or have more questions about, or want to find out how to get here, we'd be happy to help you out. Stay tuned for further events. And again, a huge thank you to everyone that came out and participated. Today was awesome.